Welcome Amakhosi Network, welcome to the channel. Today we're chatting about something very interesting, and that is the fact that Kaizer Chiefs possibly has a new coach. Today I have my notes even so I don't miss anything. Chiefs is chatting to a new coach. Can you believe? Yes. Itiski Times reported that Kaizer Chiefs basically contacted a new coach and that Chiefs is starting to do talks. So that is what the Itiski Times, I read their paper today. If you haven't checked out the Itiski Times, that's Nkululeko Nkeo's channel, and also they have a magazine. So I was reading their magazine. You just have to subscribe to their WhatsApp channel and they just give you interesting information from journalists. I think Veleli, Gongo, those kind of guys report on that on the Itiski Times. So check that out. But let's get to it. I wanted just to give you an idea of who Jose Peseiro is and what he's about. So you guys may know him. He was the Nigeria coach. Yes, exactly. The guy who beat South Africa in the AFCON right now. That is the guy that Chiefs is going after, and he ended up second in the AFCON. But I wanted to give you some history, and I wanted to give some history about the guy, and on top of that, I wanted to give you why I don't believe he is the right coach for Kaizer Chiefs. So let's get to it. The guy is 63 years old. The guy, let's talk about the Cups. This guy has played over, as a coach, he has managed teams for over 370 games. 370 games. He's even been an assistant to Carlos Queiroz, who you guys know, the guy who was there for South Africa when we were doing big things, So he was assistant for that guy. But in that, the guy has only won 3 cups since he started being a manager over 20 years ago. So in his 20-year career, he has only won 3 cups. But saying that, he has managed some big teams like Sporting Lisbon and teams like that, Nigeria, etc., etc. So it's not always as easy in those big leagues. But at the same time, we need to ask ourselves as Chiefs, what is our vision and what do we want? Do we want a guy who is just going to be okay, or a guy who is going to be better than anything that is in the PSL? So let me give you some history about him. This guy as a manager always only lasts 1.24 years as a coach, meaning with his year, he never lasts up to 2 years, meaning that the teams always fire him or let him go after 1.2, meaning that this guy can never get through 2 seasons. Now, let me take you back. What is your vision as a team? Do you want a coach who's going to be there for 1 year? Or do you want a coach who's so good that you can even have him for 5 years and you'll be happy because he'll be winning and dominating? That's the question you need to ask as Kaizer Chiefs management. Because 1 year is not good enough. His record is that he's been there for 1 year. The one plus in his career is that he fulfills the quota by SAFA and everyone, the regulation that you have to have if you're from overseas, you have to have a UEFA Pro license, and that you have to have 1 cups and all of those things. So in terms of the requirements, if Chiefs were to hire him, he does meet the requirements that are going to be out there for SAFA. But in terms of, does he meet the core requirement of Kaizer Chiefs? For me as a supporter, I say no. So let me tell you, in his whole career, out of the plus 370 games he's managed, he has a 52% winning average, meaning that he wins most of his games, but other than that, he draws and loses and then ends up with a 52% win average. In saying that, that is technically not a bad record. When you look at a coach's full career, it's not a bad record, but if you are wanting to be a coach of a big team, it's not a great record. Because when you look at people like Klopp and Pep, they have a higher win percentage. So that means that the draws and the losses combined aren't even close to the wins. So that's already a negative on my book. My negatives for him is that he's never been able to coach a team for 2 years, and he has only 3 cups in the last 20 years as a manager. And on top of that, the thing of he only has a 52% average. Let me give you context now. We're gonna now spend some time on Rulani as an example of what Rulani is doing. And I'll give context why we shouldn't look at Rulani's record too much. We're also going to give context to the other coaches that we're looking at. And that is also Pito and Nazreddin Nabi. So let's go to Rulani. Rulani, when I calculated looking at all his games on transfer market, he has about 61% winning average. 61%, which shows utter dominance in the league, meaning that he's not losing and he's not drawing. And this is Rulani's record includes Africa, because that's where he loses generally. Most of the time he'll lose in Africa, but his record is that, guys, he barely loses, he barely wins. But remember, Rulani's record includes Orlando Pirates, where he didn't do great, and it also includes Chippa, where he didn't do great. I think on the records it's saying for Chippa he only played one game and he lost that game. Anyway, what I wanted to say with Rulani, which is difficult to measure his success, is that he's gone and he failed at Pirates, he failed at Chippa, and then he joined a super team that was coached by Peter Simani, and then he had backup coaches in Umanqoba Nciti, etc., and Steve Compel. So what I'm trying to tell you is that Rulani has actually had the better path to his record. So the 61 is not a true reflection of a Rulani coaching, meaning that if we take Rulani today and put him under SuperSport United, he won't get 61% wins. He will still have a good percentage of wins, but it won't be 61, and he won't dominate the league. Rulani is dominating the league because of the money and the things that Sundown sponsors him, like all the training stuff he wants, all the signings he wants, all the training equipment he wants. He even took the team overseas at some point this current season. So Rulani is basically like a European coach based in South Africa. It's like he's coaching Manchester City, but based in South Africa, because everything he wants that Manchester City, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United, etc., have, that side, he has in South Africa. Kevin Johnson, Molefe Ntsiki went to Botswana. Molefe Ntsiki can't sign the best players in the world. He can't. He just watches. And that was a coach who we had who was supposed to sign players. That's what they had. Arthur Zwane last season couldn't sign a top striker like Pep and like Abo Shalulile, etc. He stuck with Bimini Man. So that is what I'm trying to say. Let's quickly go to Peter Mosimane. Peter Mosimane by far has the best record, despite only having 57% winning. But let me tell you, Peter has won about 18 cups as a coach. He's won about 18 cups. He has a 57% winning average. That is how good Peter is, and he's played over 500 games as a coach. This includes Bafana, SuperSport, Al Ahly, Al Ali. This includes his new team where he's won 2, drawn 1, and lost 2, a team that is fighting relegation. That is Peter. I even didn't mention that Jose, the coach that Chiefs wants, is about 63 years old. Peter is turning 60 this year, so he's still 59. And Peter, like I mentioned, his average years in a job is 2.5 years, meaning that Peter always builds a team. He doesn't just go to a team and then leave. For example, SuperSport built the team, left. Then the Bafana team came, Sundowns built the team, left. Al Ahly built the team, left. And what is the one thing that all these teams have in common after Peter? After Peter, a lot of these teams continue to be successful. SuperSport United, still successful. Sundowns, still successful. Al Ahly, still successful. Al Ali, promoted, now successful. Now he's with a team that is fighting relegation, so we don't know what's going to happen with that. What I'm saying is, hiring Peter comes with 2 benefits. He is a brilliant, a mastermind, a genius, one of the best in the game, but he leaves your team in a better condition for whoever is going to take over the team next. Meaning that he leaves principles in the team that can carry the team for the next 5 to 10 years, but your team has to be smart enough to be able that when Peter leaves, your team has a replacement that will carry on his work perfectly. That's what Peter has. Next coach I have on the block is Nasreddin Nabi. Nasreddin Nabi, I was shocked. He's about let me see, I think I wrote it down. He's 58 years old. He's about 58 years old. What shocked me is that he hasn't really coached that long. When I checked his records, it says he has about 57 games. But then again, he may have been coaching lower league teams. I don't know. But from Transfer Market, it says he's only coached about 57 games. But we know that with Yanga, he went and won trebles and all of those things. So that is how good he is there. But Transfer Market doesn't really show all the titles he's won. But we know from what Yanga was telling us that he won trebles and stuff like that. And the guy's winning percentage is 53%. Now I'm going to tell you. Let's start. Rulani Mukwena has the best squad in Africa, not just in South Africa. Best squad in Africa, 61%. Pitso arguably had also one of the best teams in Africa. Al Ahly may have a debate in whether he did have during the Pitso season, but arguably the best. He had 57%. Nazaruddin Nabi, 53%, and the coach Chiefs ones, 52%. Why am I saying this? These are the coaches that Chiefs should be going after. Pitso and Nazaruddin Nabi. Nazaruddin Nabi and Pitso can compete with what Rulani's beast is becoming. Jose hasn't proven that. So it makes you ask yourself, if Chiefs management has already contacted this Nigerian ex-coach in Jose Peseiro, what is Chiefs' vision? Because it shows that if they really have contacted this team, that their vision is kind of messed up. Before I drop I'm done with this video, I want to say, a lot of you have been debating me about Nkosi Ngcobo, and I'm going to tell you guys this. I never said in that video that Nkosi Ngcobo and Patrick Masangwaye are better in terms of form than the current Themba Zwane and Patrick Masangwaye. I never said Ngcobo is better than them currently in terms of their current form. I never said Ngcobo must be in Bafana Bafana. I never said that. I never said Ngcobo is in great condition. My exact words was that Ngcobo has the potential to be better than these guys. Why did I say that? Ngcobo, during a time, and I told this guy in one of the comments, he knows who he is. I told him in one of the comments. I was like, Themba Zwane, Sundowns wins the Champions League. Who does Themba Zwane have around him? Hlompo Kekana, the Kemeti Rasmus of the world, Tiani Mabunda. They had like so many stars in their team. I can go on from Modiba was there, Muda was there. They had stars for days, Kemeti Rasmus, etc., etc. Themba Zwane had a star-studded team, When I look at that team of the year Chiefs got to the finals of the CAF, and I look at Sundowns team, you can't compare them. Then I went to Kaizer Chiefs team. During that CAF period, what team the Chiefs have? Chiefs had Khatebe, Chiefs had Bakas, Chiefs had an injured Manyama, injured Castro, injured Nukovic, injured Billiard for the whole season, had a Parker. That was a Chiefs team that went to a final. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is that Ngcobo was one of the most important people to drag Chiefs to the CAF Champions League final. Themba Zwane hasn't dragged a team to the Champions League final. Themba Zwane was part of a legendary squad with the Hlompos, etc., etc. Meaning, Themba Zwane was not the star. During that era, the stars were Peseiro, Kama Billiard, Dolly, Bongani Zungu, Hlompo Kekana, Tiani Mabunda. Zwane was oftentimes on the bench. So, Patrick Masangwaye hasn't carried Pirates to any Champions League, but in fairness to him, it is his first season, so it's asking for too much. But at the same time, Pirates got knocked out of the African competitions while these guys were there. So, in saying that, I'm not saying Ngcobo is better than them in the current form. They are obviously better than Ngcobo currently, and Ngcobo is out of shape. Ngcobo needs to work on his condition. Ngcobo is not the player right now. But in terms of potential of what he can be, if I take Ngcobo today and put him in any one of these Sundown squads, he can easily command the starting lineup because of how good he is, but he just needs the right coaching and the right players around him. Ngobo is not the player to drag players. When I say drag players, I mean like the way to get the best out of Ngobo, the people around him also have to be good. And that is the same for Themba Zwane and Patrick Masangwai. Patrick Masangwai was at SuperSport United. He was good. We all saw he was good, but he wasn't dragging SuperSport anyway. Themba Zwane was good. We all saw how good he was at Black Aces, but he wasn't dragging Aces anyway. What I'm trying to tell you is that Ngobo dragged Chiefs to a Champions League final. These guys didn't drag their teams anyway. And then now they are part of way better teams than Chiefs, and you guys are losing sight of the fact that Ngobo, in his third season of Chiefs, was dragging this team to a CAF Champions League final. Don't forget those facts. Amakhosi for life.